Welcome to Fantasyland Draft League. My name is Ryan, and we are here with the show where we fantasy draft anything and everything to do with Disney. Today I am joined by my guests, Bryan, David, and Erik. Bryan, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Hello. Born in Anaheim, lifelong Disney fan, current Disney travel planner at Concierge. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Welcome to the show, David.
My name is David. I'm the only non-concierge travel planner on this podcast, so outnumbered, which is fine.
Incorrect.
I host. Well, okay, whatever. Close enough, man. Let's not. It's too early to bicker. I co-host podcasts with Ryan called Marvel Fandom, this by PewniePod, and we look at the Marvel MCU in release order. Nerd out on comic stuff.
Woo-hoo. And Erik.
Hello, my name is Erik. I'm the voice of Concierge. I do not plan anything.
And you're on 18 dozen other podcasts.
Well,
That'll
yes.
take the rest of the episode.
I'm not getting paid to talk about those, so we'll just keep moving.
Wait, you're getting paid?
I was about you beat me to it, Ryan. I was like, wait a second, hold on.
That's the kind of moxie I've got, boys. I don't know what that voice was. I don't know.
Well, thank you all for joining me here for our first episode, our test episode here. Let's see. So for those listeners who are not familiar, this is a fantasy draft style. So think fantasy football, fantasy baseball, that sort of thing. The idea here is we're going to go through a subject. This week's subject is Disney parks rides.
Whoa.
Now, everybody has kind of designed their own list, and we intentionally keep the rules a little loose around here. So as we go through the draft, we'll see. Maybe somebody tries to get a little bit weird, and that'll be part of the fun. So we do have this we're going to do a serpentine style draft of 5 rounds total. So there's 4 of us, 5 rounds, 20 total rides will be picked. Serpentine style draft means if you go first in the first round, you go last in the second round. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know what. Thank you.
I didn't realize there'd be math tonight, but
It's a little bit easier to do serpentine when we have more than 2 people, because David and I tried on PewniePod to do a draft where we did serpentine.
it's pretty sad.
And it was just David picks, Ryan picks twice.
Pick 2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah. It's a little easier when there's 4 of us here. So, in order to choose our draft order, what I'm going to say is, and every episode this is going to be a little different and something to do with the theme. So, I am going to say who was in a Disney park last. So,
Ooh.
I was last in a Disney park end of August.
I was May. You got me beat.
Okay. I think...
Yeah, it was when we were... Yeah, I was there with Bryan. So.
Well, you were there in July, right? Because you were there for the 70th.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I forgot about Disneyland. Hey, I've been to Disneyland. I was there on the 70th and the day after. Okay.
David, have you gone since you and I were in the parks? You were with me the last time I was in the park. So
I was there Monday.
well,
Who left first? Who left last, I should say.
well, David beat me. So David's got me beat. David's got the pick. So David, go ahead and pick the draft order. Basically, who goes first, who goes second, who goes last. Remember, whoever goes last gets the hot corner, the double pick there at the end.
Turnaround.
Yep.
The turn. I would say let's just do alphabetical order. So
Bryan.
Wow.
Bryan, me, Erik,
David,
Ryan.
Erik, Ryan. And I'm going to really avoid saying hot corner because I'm stealing that from another draft-based podcast. and I really want to avoid that. So,
Do you want to call it the hot spot, the hot pocket, the hot
there we go.
turn, the hot boomerang? I don't
The
know.
character corner. There we go.
Hotness.
All right. So, Bryan, with the first ever pick in the Fantasyland Draft League, draft of favorite Disney park rides, what are you picking?
Wow. I'm not used to this. I've been doing fantasy football drafts for about 25 years, and I am rarely even in the top half of the draft, let alone number one. So
many options.
Get that punter early, right?
There you go. I am going to go with my number one, my favorite, Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. I'm going to specify because I have a feeling that there might be some discussions later on. So I am going with Pirates of the Caribbean.
That is a fantastic pick.
And why
my favorite?
Why Pirates?
So it's been my favorite for basically my whole life. It has pretty much everything that you can hope for in a classic Disney attraction. I mean, you've got audio animatronics. You've got the story. It's original. It's not based on an IP. Granted, they have shoehorned in its own meta-style self-IP with adding Johnny Depp or Captain Jack Sparrow. You
sometimes
sail.
Johnny Depp.
What?
Sometimes Johnny Depp.
If you're lucky, if you're very lucky, you might see him. But if you've got Blue Bayou right there, it was a big part of my favorite Imagineer. So Mark Davis has a big hand in Pirates of the Caribbean. You've got a long ride, which is also good. I mean, you've got a 15+ minute attraction, and usually a wait that is less than that. It's rare to have a longer ride than the wait itself. A lot of times.
It's a good thing you picked the Disneyland one for that, because Disney World, not so much.
Not so much.
Good cue.
And then I have long said that if I could marry the Disneyland attraction with the Walt Disney World queue, that I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah,
I do appreciate the queue at Walt Disney World. But then you throw in the nostalgic factor of the last ride that Walt Disney got to work on before he passed. Unfortunately, didn't get to see it open, but he did get to see a pretty good chunk of the process, almost all the way through.
Yeah. Good pick. Good pick. Let's.
David's next, I think.
Yeah,
we're going alphabetical.
Yep, David, you're up. What you got?
I'm really glad you left it for me. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. A great. No, I'm kidding.
Sir, that is not
I was
Disney.
Gonna make this
Disney. Disney.
I will
Look.
take.
I will forgive a lot.
I'm just. All I studied was Universal. I was so unprepared. I don't even know what's in all the parks. Pirates is a great choice. That's probably kind of the sentimental and kind of clear early choice. I am going to go. I'm going to do something a little different. I am going to, knowing that all the Pirates rides are now off the board, I will go with Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. It's not a classic. It is to Bryan's point, it's a fairly long ride, so it's kind of worth the wait. The first time you go on it, it's visually stunning. It is, from the first room where you are kind of drafted into the army, to the scene where you are riding on the spaceship, you get captured, and then you walk in the room with all the stormtroopers, and it's just you'll never forget the first time you go on it, and you're just wondering, are there any people in there? Is it just all robots? And then the ride itself is great. It's super fun. It is not it is a Disney park ride. It is not emblematic necessarily of Disneyland, but it does. I do think. I think I've heard this on the podcast, one other podcast before. It is kind of emblematic of like how the parks would always like update and be as advanced as possible for the time. So it's cool that there's like some really old school rides in Disneyland that harken back to 55, but like this would be like, I think that this would be a Walt's like, I can't believe we pulled this off. So
yeah, I agree. I think it's an update of the dark ride idea, right? It still tells a story. It still does all of that, but with modern technology. It's not, it's not a simulator ride or something like that.
yep.
You get moved through a story in a ride vehicle.
You move somewhere, you're not on a rail, and there's a drop.
Yep.
which my children were not aware of when we first went on it, and they both freaked out. As Erik can remember when we were on that one ride at Walt Disney World. Anyway, I also too, I'm also somewhat biased because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've seen every movie in the theater. Like, so yeah, that's my first choice. How about
That's a
you?
great pick.
How about you, Erik?
I'm going to take a little bit of a different tack here because I need to snatch up this ride before anybody else does.
I almost took it to trade with you.
And as much, we get trades. Good. As much as I hate within every fiber of my being to start with a Disneyland ride, I am picking the Mad Teacups, the Mad Tea Party Teacups at Disneyland as the best ride. It is mad. It is maddening. They play the same song all day long. It's only a few minutes long. I can only imagine how the psychiatry bills for the poor young teens who have to man this ride. Sorry. Staff. There we go. Thank you. Oh, I don't like that either.
Indentured servants to Disney. Is that better?
Sure. We'll go with that.
Great. Perfect.
But this is, despite all of the memories of the teacups in Walt Disney World that I have and pictures and all that good stuff, this is the best one. If you go at night, the lanterns make it.
Yep.
It is this wacky, weird experience. It's the one that set spinning rides into motion around everywhere. I don't even know. I haven't done my research on this. I don't even know if it's the first spinning ride, but it's the one everybody wants to be in. Right. And it's right there. It's on a main thoroughfare. Not everybody waits for it, but you know what? You're going to have a good time if you go in. You're going to get your family in there. You don't have to spin too hard. You can spin as hard as you want. It's amazing, and especially at night, you have some sort of weird transcendental experience with all of the lights changing and flashing, and the song is just perfect for this kind of madcap experience. It's one of the perfect ride vehicles. It's so simple. You sit down and you know what to do. Everyone knows what to do. You go in, you close the door, you grab onto the thing, and you spin. And
now, I will say the ride vehicles are a little small for 3 fully grown adults.
At Disneyland in particular. At Walt Disney World, you can fit a few more folks in there. But Walt Disney World, I guess the only thing Walt Disney World has that's better is better like overhead coverage.
Yeah,
it just feels
it's under a canopy, right?
Right. It just feels, I don't know, 70s in the wrong way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Disneyland at night is a different experience, and it is something that if you happen to be in the parks at night, and especially if you happen to have visited Carthay and had a few Manhattans, you might enjoy this attraction a little bit more. I don't know. I've never had a problem with spinning rides. My mom loves spinning rides. It's one of the few types of ride that she will go on. So I have memories of not of Disneyland with my mom, but like just going on a spinning ride with my entire family, cramming into this little cup and spinning in circles. And the Disneyland one is just it. It's the colors. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
It's something that's different. It exceeds what it should have.
Yeah, it punches way above its weight. Like
There you go. That's a good statement that
by
people
all
say
means,
these days.
it's mostly just a flat ride, right? Like at the end of the day, it's a carnival ride, but it because of the place that they've placed it in and the like the growing vines that they've grown up around it, and oh man, if you're there, if you're lucky enough to be there when there's a nighttime parade
Oh
and
gosh.
that goes by,
Oh, paint the night going by. That would be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. And you're right. It's a flat ride. There's nothing special about it. We've all been on the Scrambler or the Gravitron or other spinning things at a carnival where it's this cheap experience where you're like, oh, that was fun. But they achieve something, and this isn't even the original attraction. They've moved it. They've plussed it up. They have made it better, and with growing things around it, this giant tree, all of these it's the lanterns that do it for me. I
Yeah.
think that's clear at this point. Someone else should talk.
Well, the good news is you can go buy one of those lanterns right now. They're one of the 70th merches, except they're made out of plastic instead of paper. But
Hard
Oh,
as to
I didn't
pass
see
it.
those.
Boo.
yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, let's jump in. I have the corner here, and oh man. So I'm having a really hard time
took
because I
Bryan's.
don't know if I want to use 2 picks in the same land or even maybe 3 picks within the same land. You know what? My list is going to be weird, so I'm going to lean into the weird. I'm going Living with the Land.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Living with the Land. It's so good in Epcot. Like, it's the heart of like what Epcot was supposed to be. It's you still go past the labs and you go past all the funky growing vegetables and the fish, right? And you're maybe a little bit sad at the fish moment, but
Yes.
but it's so cool. It's so relaxing, and I love this idea of just like the food you are seeing grown there. You could go to other places in the resort and eat. It is at the core. It is one of the quintessential Epcot experiences that is still an Epcot experience from old Epcot, right? And so I love this. Maybe it's not truly first round talent, but I
You're
love the
snatching it up.
ride.
It does everything you would expect an Epcot attraction to do.
Exactly.
There's a tour in it.
Yes,
You could-
behind the scenes.
You can take a walking tour through this. There are scientists.
Yeah, and it's so cool. I've been on it a couple times where I've seen like the scientists doing the science in the lab, and that's just I don't know, there's something so unique about that. I think the other thing is it's not like it's curated, but it's not like everything else, all the other rides, there's no live element to it really, right? Like they're everything is built. It is just built. There isn't really live actors in a lot of these rides. Rise of the Resistance a little bit because you have the First Order who argues with you or whatever, but in general across almost all Disney rides I can think of, they've kind of done away with any live actors, and there's really no live and there's nothing living about them, right? Like there's nothing that if I'm gonna ride Pirates of the Caribbean, it's gonna be the same every time I ride it. Whereas Living with the Land, it's gonna be different vegetables, it's gonna be different times in the grow cycles, it's gonna be unique. Plus, it's really relaxing. Like on a nice theme park day, maybe you've done your trip around the World Showcase already. in your ECV, and you park it outside, and you just relax, and you just live with the land. And then you will truly be living with the land.
It's so warm during the day. Take a nice nap if you really
It's
want
warm
to.
without being hot, right? Because like
Yeah.
that's the catch in Florida. You don't want to be hot, but yeah.
You've encapsulated
rounding
this.
rounding the corner, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna do it. Man, I'm blown. Maybe I'm blown. I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna take Carousel of Progress.
I thought it was gonna be first. To be honest with you, I thought it was gonna be your first.
Good call, Bryan.
I love the Carousel of Progress. I'm excited to see the Walt robot in it. That they're gonna add. I wish it was back at Disneyland. It's not spectacular. It's not Rise of the Resistance. It's not cutting edge. The future is now, right? Like that whole future scene is VR headsets, and I don't want to set off everybody's voice assistants, but voice assistants. But it's just so homey, and like it is a ride because it moves, and this I was prepared to defend this, but the movement of the stadium makes it a ride.
You'll get no argument here.
It is the only Disney ride. I don't have the tattoo yet, but I have a tattoo that I've like put a deposit down with my artist to get. It is the only Disney ride that I have a tattoo of, or planned of, I should say. And so yeah, I adore this ride, and I think it's hokey, it's silly, but it's just so for me. I have discovered the more I go to the parks and the longer I go, the more I discover that I just like kind of an unserious approach. And I don't mean that in like goofy, silly kind of unserious, but just in the like, this isn't hardcore. I don't need to be hardcore about the parks. I just need to enjoy it. And that is the core of Carousel of Progress to me. So, Erik, you're up next.
Well, seeing how this particular draft is going, I'm going to have to step up. You know what it is. Do you know what it is?
I think I know what it is.
Oh, it is Spaceship Earth, my friend.
Oh, yeah. It was one of two things. And that was one of the two that I figured it was going to be.
Spaceship Earth, the golf ball that encapsulates the entirety of Epcot Center. Whole park's right in there, brother. Oh my goodness. It's one of the few rides that has made me cry.
Yeah.
For no particular reason. Other than nostalgia. It is one of the few rides that can give you the coldest, darkest nap possible. Especially when it breaks down, when you're heading back down at the end of it. Oh, you're leaning backwards, and it always stops somewhere now. It's going to stop a few times.
Yeah.
This ride needs some work. It's loud,
it's
but
getting
when
that
it's
work right now, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes when it's done. I bet it's still janky as all get out. It's such an enigma to me. I've listened to so many shows about this. I've read so many books about it. I would love one of the most. I've done a lot of stuff at Disney parks. One of the things that I haven't done that I would want to do is something that the guys from Retro WDW, the podcast, did a few years ago. They walked through the entirety of Spaceship Earth with the lights on.
So cool.
I would love to be evacuated from it just to see some of these things. They were on a private tour. They had done a whole event there. So but still, it to look at all of it and see how it's slightly evolved over the years. It's definitely Carousel of Progress vibes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where you're like, none of this makes sense.
The internet,
why
the
we
internet
still love
tube,
this?
yeah.
I mean, from a sleeping monk who's transcribing the Bible to a cool lady in a cool computer lab wearing a
Lab
yellow sweater, like to Steve Jobs, kind of maybe sitting in
The back of
a
Steve Jobs' head.
right, he's sitting in a garage with a car near him, a car that they had to like. What's that?
So and Phoenicians.
Oh, the Phoenicians.
The Phoenicians.
Now we all know about the Phoenicians, and we can all thank them every day. But this whole thing is just this massive construct that won awards for being this engineering marvel. They did stuff in it that, like, why would you put a whole car into an attraction?
Because you can.
Right. Why would you build a giant computer room? Why would you put in an actual printing press? Why do any of this stuff to the mid-mod, like, high-rise apartment that I wish I could live in, to one of the world's largest planetariums, like planetarium projectors at the top that's projecting actual stars, well, not actual star, but like, it's not just points of light. This is a planetarium show. They had to build this whole thing, and it's a giant ball in the middle of Florida, and somehow you all don't burn, like melt, as you're going through it because of the heat. The entire thing is an absolute marvel. It makes no sense why they would do it. It makes no sense that it's still there.
Now, Erik, I have to ask you, does the facial recognition at the end work for you?
Absolutely, every time.
It doesn't so the facial recognition cuts off the bottom half of my face.
Oh no,
because my beard is hair, is like head hair, and it just cuts it off. So I'm just this like mouthless person.
I love when I go through and I can't remember which side to sit on. Like if I'm there alone, I can't remember which side to sit on. I'm like, oh, I guess I have a husband now. But I try to do something different every time. Every time I try to pick different stuff so that when the ride down happens, I'm like, oh, look, I'm living in the future. And I think I've seen almost all of them, and I certainly don't want to like seek out videos of them. I want to like experience all of these little dramas by personally. Like this is the city that I want to live in the future, and it's kind of it also has that same Carousel of Progress vibe because some of it is still kind of futuristic.
Yeah. There's like, that, we haven't quite got there yet. Yeah.
I can't yell across the room and have my oven burn a turkey. Like in Carousel of Progress. And I can
do it from my phone.
Okay, well.
So we're almost there.
Wow.
Close.
Good for you. But yeah, it's this pinnacle of the 80s that remains, and I don't know, it just is, and everybody needs to try it at some point. It's a Pirates.
Yeah,
it's another thing that has everything. This is Disney. This is what Disney did and was incredible for its time, and it's still pretty darn cool.
For sure. Hard agree. Let's see. Bryan or David. David, you're up next.
It's a great choice. originally toyed with the idea of just picking, since we had 0 instructions beforehand, I originally thought about picking one ride from each park, or from the various parks. But because I've only been to 2, I thought that would be kind of a poser move to do. So I'm just going to pick parks that I have been to. I've only been to the 2 in the US, so there looks to be some cool stuff in Japan and Tokyo and Shanghai, and I'll probably get Hong Kong. I'll probably get crushed later on the rounds. But I am going to pivot to Disneyland. Shocker. Classic. Haunted Mansion.
I'm surprised that fell out of the first round. So yeah,
I'm not. It killed a guy.
It did kill
Yesterday.
someone.
It did kill someone.
Did kill someone. So I am drafting. Well, that's probably why it slid. You know what I mean? It's like the running back that tears his Achilles in like preseason. You're like, man, he's out for the season. And then week 7, look who's back. Boom.
Now, are you taking speed ramp Haunted Mansion or no speed ramp Haunted Mansion?
Which one, David? We've already set the Brian set the example with Pirates.
Speed ramp? What do you mean?
No.
Disneyland?
Like we can do
version.
Disneyland or Disney World?
Disneyland. I said Disneyland. That was.
That's right. You did.
Yeah.
You did
That's
say that.
correct.
You did say it was
Yep.
good.
Yeah, I'm not a heathen. Thank you. But so it's a classic ride. The exterior is beautiful. It's a very kind of simple concept, but it's, I know Dan doesn't love the overlay, but they kind of change it up as well. It's
Dan who?
Beatles, anyways.
He hates the Beatles, but no, it's just a fantastic ride. I think that with Brian's first choice of Pirates, Haunted Mansion, I think the reason why it's very sentimental, like if you grew up in California, if you've been to like parks when you were a kid, those are the rides we've all been on. Like even our parents, if they went as kids, went on these rides. And so it's kind of the baton is handed to us to be like, oh, this is Pirates. This is the Haunted Mansion. This is what have you. And it is great at nighttime. It is spooky. I've ridden it with Erik. I've ridden it with Ryan. And it's just it's a great ride.
Why haven't you ridden it with Bryan?
I haven't hung out with Bryan before. Just met him tonight. So
It's true, actually. Yeah.
I'm down. If you're in Anaheim, sure, let's go for it. But no, it is. I chose it over the Walter's Disney World ride just because I think it's probably like the approach and the the rooms, and it's great. So Brian, how about you? Brian, you have 2 choices.
I know.
I would like to point out that the Magic Carpets of Aladdin and the Jumpin' Jellyfish are both on the board still. So if
It's still there.
They're still there. If you just want back to back. He's like, hard pass, but thank you for the invite.
It's tempting. Sleeper picks right there. I also thought about some foreign parks. We might get there. We'll see. But I think I'm going to stay close to home, only like 50 feet away from my first pick. And I'm going to go with Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. This was mid-90s. This was right when I was getting to the teenage years. This was that next step ride. Yeah, there's roller coasters. There's Big Thunder Mountain and Matterhorn, which are cool. But this was like the next advancement in rides. They advertise this whole sort of unique experience. It's supposed to be, every time you ride, it's going to be different because the Jeep will go this way instead of this way, or you're going to feel this bump instead of that bump. Like, it promised a lot. I don't know if it necessarily met that promise, or at least to a noticeable degree. It struggled with some of the effects of the falling ceiling effect, but it didn't matter. It was so cool. Indiana Jones, great 90s movies, or late 80s as well, I guess when it started. But you pull into that big room with this giant chasm in front of you with the bridge, this huge sculpture shooting laser beams out of its. It was so cool. It still is. It's still one of my favorites. Fantastic Queue. I think one of the first attractions where they really sort of built this queue to meet the level of the attraction itself. Lengthy, detailed. You've got the hieroglyphics to decipher while you're waiting. You've got you had the pole that you shook and the ceiling's gonna come down. But so you've got these things to sort of keep you entertained. It was just still one of my favorites, with the caveat if it's actually running.
I was about to say
Yeah.
that's a huge caveat. You're assuming that everything is working. Yeah, the little Sala video where he's like, indie, like, it's great. Yeah, super fun. Moves pretty quick. Yeah. It's air conditioned. Get in and out real. It's not. You kind of know when it's a really long ride, really long line, but it's once you get on, it's just a great ride.
Well, and it's so cool that they're basically undoing a retheme of it, right? Over in Disney World. Like,
we had it right with Indy the first time. Let's just go back to that.
So Bryan, you saw the ice falling.
No, I didn't even get to see it myself.
Oh, you never did.
Not that I remember.
Okay.
That's 30 years ago.
I asked Teg last week. And he said the same thing. Tag my co-host on my other show, The Hub Crawl. I do other shows too. Man, I gotta talk to somebody who remembers the ice falling. Maybe Dan. Dan.
Yeah, Dan would be my best guess.
Okay.
I
don't like talking to Dan. Yeah. Well, I'll find somebody. I want to hear somebody tell me it was cool or it was lame. Because to the listener, they had this whole thing where they would drop chunks of ice that looked like the ceiling was falling, right?
They were like iced tea. It was like frozen iced teas to make it look like it was like solid.
Doesn't sound like the easiest thing to replicate forever, and it doesn't sound like it was all that useful, because there are plenty of other effects that work. Can I ask? I'm sorry, I'm hijacking here. Can I ask, what do you think of the flying skeleton guy and the dart skeleton guys?
What's the flying skeleton guy?
So inside the skull, when you're inside the big skull, and you go to the room of skulls, and then there's that
the scrim projection.
Yeah, that guy.
I think it's cool. You have to be looking up there. I miss it a number of times and not even looking that direction. And then the blow dart guys. It's such a simple effect, and for some reason, I love it. It's just
the effect rules.
It's awesome. You get the black, you get the black light and everything too.
I'm leading. I just don't like the art style because it's so exceedingly late 80s.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm like, we haven't updated these guys to make them look cooler.
Yeah, it leans a little bit almost into like Mummy at Universal, where it's a little bit into that hokey adventure.
Right.
Yeah.
But the dart, you're right. The dart effect, awesome. Yeah.
All right, Bryan.
I was going to say, Erik, it sounds like, Erik, you're looking for the Shia LaBeouf overlay, right?
You know what? I just want to see a dude swinging around with some monkeys. Okay. CG monkeys. Those are timeless.
They replaced Mara's face with the giant crystal skull.
Oh God!
They do have, isn't the crystal skull version is it Tokyo?
Sounds right. Yeah,
it is. So that's off the board. Dinosaur is off the board, right? Because it's effectively the same thing.
No.
If you love Dinosaur,
since we went into the idea of picking at specific parks, I would say Dinosaur is still on the board. Pirates of the Caribbean, anywhere else in the world, is still on the board.
What? No.
Teacups.
You can't pick
at Disney World.
Pirates
is still on
gone,
the board.
Man. Pirates is gone.
If people pick it specifically at specific parks, I think the other versions stay on the board.
If
Completely
people who
disagree.
like
Completely disagree.
Shanghai Disney's
Mm,
pirates
Sunken
want to talk
Treasure?
about that, or if
May or may
people
not
who
be on
like,
the list for later.
I'm going to contact my attorneys. This is an outrage.
You may have heard about Single Riders, the dating app that brings Disney-loving singles together faster than a cavalcade on a weather delay. We want to continue our Founders Spotlight series. Meet Joe, visionary, park enthusiast, loud donkey impersonator.
That ain't an ass, man. That's a whole fucking donkey. Got me over here going, hee-haw!
What does that mean? We're still figuring it out. But one thing's clear. Joe sees dating as a safari. And if love's a jungle, he's definitely the guy yelling at the animatronics. In our new relaunch ad campaign, we aim to continue highlighting the passion, persistence, and distinctive mating calls of our founder, Joe the Bearded Nerd, by sharing actual clips from his TikTok. Because at Single Riders, we believe romance begins with confidence. And possibly sound effects. So download the app that asks, what if your soulmate also yells their opinions in line for Dole Whip? Single Riders, if you're alone, you're not the only one. App Founder is real. Yes, really. No, we don't understand either. Donkey sounds not officially endorsed, but impossible to unhear.
Well, Bryan, you have the next pick because
I
we do circle around here. So you have the top pick of round 3. What do you got?
I think I am going to finally leave the U.S. and we're going to head to a foreign park. And I think I'm going to do this because I don't know if this is going to still be around for my next pick. And so I'm going to grab it now. I'm going with Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast at Tokyo Disneyland.
Oh,
Good pick. Good pick. Underrated pick, too, I feel like. Like, it doesn't get enough shine.
It is. So, Beauty and the Beast, my favorite Disney animated movie, just as a precursor. So, that already extra points. Great sort of advancement in just a standard storytelling dark ride. You know, it doesn't really give you anything new. It's Belle, showing up at the Beast Castle. You've got the Be Our Guest scene, the scene where they're out in the snow, and then the rest of it sort of goes somewhat quickly with the invasion, and then you get to the coup de grace, the pinnacle of this ride, which I have watched more times than I can count, and I still do not understand how they pull this off, where the Beast turns human. It is one of the best illusions that I've ever seen in a theme park. It's phenomenal. It is probably much simpler than I have in my head on how they actually pull it off, but I don't know if I really want to know. I think I just want to leave it a mystery. Even the it's got a fantastic I can call it a pre-show in the queue before you even get on the ride. Huge Beast animatronic. You get a Belle animatronic sort of up on the top of the stairs. The theming specifically at the Tokyo park, Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Seas is next level. I mean, they do not spare any expense in detailing in those parks, especially with the new stuff. So the moment you walk in the queue, it's fantastic. So
It's
that's what I went with.
trackless, right? For the listener who may
is-
not be familiar, it's trackless.
It is a trackless
and
ride.
Your car vehicle is like one of Chip's siblings, yeah?
It is. So that's actually the one thing that I didn't quite understand is you are human size. It's not like a Remy situation where you're supposed to be, suddenly smaller. But the ride vehicle is, yes, it's a piece of a china. I don't know if it's a cup or I think it looks more like a bowl. It's sort of shallow and round, like. So I'm not sure why that's the choice. The first scene is the Be Our Guest scene.
Okay. So it's like maybe move on. You're a piece of like dinner china that's
dancing around as the musical number. So that's all I can come up with of why they chose that for the ride vehicle. But it moves right, like it moves side to side, sort of like undulates. So it's got extra movement to it.
Nice. Yeah, because it like rocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, very good pick, and one I don't hear talked. I was not expecting it to get picked tonight, so
I
yeah.
thought it would go at some point, so I was like, I can grab it now.
No, that's awesome because it's really good, and I just genuinely hadn't even thought of that one. So, really great pick. David, you are up next.
So third pick, this is usually where you get your backup catcher, right? So, again, going with the theme of rides that I have been on, I will stick to the home park. I promise to draft something outside of the park probably at some point in time. I'm going to go with Space Mountain with Star Wars overlay.
Hyperspace Mountain.
Hyperspace Mountain. It's a great ride. Things I like about Space Mountain, I didn't used to love it. Like when the first time I went on it with my daughter, you just snap the photo and you just see like I wasn't not ready for the photo at all. And I'm just like white knuckling it. And over time you get used to it. It's just which track you're going to be on. And it's left, right, or the vice versa. But I love it with the Star Wars overlay. And the other things I love about it, there's a single rider line that gets you on in 3 or 4 minutes. And I thought about the regular Space Mountain. I figured I have to round out my list, I have to have a mountain of some sort. I think it'd be hard to have your list of parks without having a mountain ride. And so that is the one I went with. So
Not Splash Mountain.
Look, Ryan, we all know that you're the Splash Mountain enthusiast, right? I know you signed the protest and you change yourself to the ride when they tried to change it out. We've talked about it long. You just gotta let it go.
Maybe this show needs to be sponsored by single riders as well.
I'll send you. I will send you several links.
Great, perfect.
Dan has a panoply.
Love it, Eric. What's your next choice? Number 3.
That we're at a moral quandary here because I feel like I need to
Go with the heart. Go with your heart.
All right. It's Guardians at Epcot. We're staying with Epcot. We're going with a coaster.
Fantastic.
Great.
My goodness.
Also, back to back with Space Mountain makes so much sense because it's the evolution of Space Mountain.
It is. It's a roller coaster in the dark, but it has a story that's well developed. Hyperspace Mountain has some things that happen in it, but it has a story that is conveyed to you. Not all of the effects work amazing. It's fine. When I'm circling the Earth and I see that it's like posted on a pole, I'm like, why? Why did you just put a big ball there in the middle? But it's fun because as you're going, you're not just moving forward. You're not just going, here's a little bump, and then you go right, like David was saying. You're still the entire car is turning and rotating around, and you're listening to fun music, and the entire thing works. The pre-show works. I encourage every one of you listening, when you next go, don't try to stand by the doors and get onto the ride faster. Stand in the middle of the room and wait for that pre-show to be done and give Terry Crews the respect he deserves. Oh gosh, that's the only thing that bugs me lately is like everybody just crowds up against the doors and they're all crammed over there. Like, but there's a cool show over here. You can see our friends. They're doing something fun.
They have changed that recently to try to control some of that.
That's right. What did they end up doing?
So there are now designated areas, like sides of the room, basically, for standby and lightning lane.
Okay.
So basically, the lightning lane still gets preference, let's say, in the pre-show rooms versus the standby guests who then all crowded over by the door because they know that that's the quickest way out.
Right. Well, thank you for reminding me of that. I saw that the other day, and I haven't looked to see like how it's going, but I'm glad they're doing something, because the first time I was in there, it's just this mass of people, and we're all just kind of standing in the middle of the room going, I don't know what's going on. This is incredible. And then a few short months later, suddenly everybody's like, oh, no, if you want to get on the ride slightly faster, just cram over here and don't look at what's happening. Like, but it's a fun thing. There's a movie. There's a guy and he steals the thing. It's great.
And
You
they
should
talk about
watch it.
day drinking.
What do they call themselves?
Epcotians. All right. So I stole that one.
All right. And that's, well, we'll see. That might be, well, I'm going to avoid saying picks because I don't want to steal anybody's thunder too much. So
Ryan, just as a reminder, Inside Out, Emotional Whirlwind, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, and
hey, don't diss on the seas.
Scuttle Scooters are all on the board still.
There are a lot of carousels left.
David
too.
did his research.
No, I panicked and pulled up a list of like top rides in all the parks, so I can't remember them all. I went to Disney. We went to Disney World with
Me.
With Erik. I was going to say Erik and my kids and Mike. I couldn't remember. I was trying to remember Mike's
Oh,
name.
Mike. Okay.
And I was trying to remember all the rides I went on. And that's why I'm kind of going through the list. It's like, okay, what if I went on that
We
ride?
did so much more than you thought you were going to do on that trip. So I'm very happy with how that all turned out. Yeah.
What was the backwards ride? What's the one where you go backwards?
That's Everest.
Okay.
I almost picked Everest as my coaster because it's so awesome, but it's a little rough these
I
days.
had no idea. So yeah, there you go.
I feel like I need to go back to the West Coast because that's, the place I go the most. And I spent the first two picks in Disney World. So I am going to go back to the West Coast.
The better one.
I'm going to go old school here, and I'm going to say that this is an unironic pick. I want to say that. I'm going to pick up another boat ride. I'm going with Small World. On the West Coast specifically. The facade outweighs air conditioning for the queue.
Now,
that
on
be
your
rough.
on your ride, do you have the person who's clearly on drugs, who's naked, who's standing in the middle? Is that part of your queue? Is that what you're leaning, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay, great, cool. Just want to make sure.
Now I am
overlay was there.
I'm picking that queue at like a 5-minute walk on because I agree with you, Erik. If that queue is anything, it is rough.
Oh man,
it is a rough queue. But
as an aside, we should do a draft of the queues because it is one of the ones you like. Oh, it looks like a walk on, and then you're like 20 minutes in, you haven't even like turned the first corner. You're like, all right, where's the exit? How do I come back to this later on?
There's shade in that corner though.
There's shade in that corner for sure, but
once you get onto the bridge and you're just sitting there in the
I have cooked on that bridge.
It's brutal.
In February of all times of year.
Oof.
Oh.
It was in the 90s.
Is that the cookiest bridge? Is that the one? Is that the queue you're going to get cooked on the most? I've gotten cooked in Tomorrowland for Astro Blasters, where you're just like all of a sudden. I know. What you call? No. The Buzz Lightyear one.
Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters?
Yeah.
I didn't think that was an outdoor queue.
Yeah,
there's
there's an indoor, but like outdoor, like you are sitting there and it's concrete, and it is not cool.
That's also a bad day at Star Tours.
It is also a bad day at Star Tours.
If Pirates is having a bad day and you're waiting in a long line at Pirates, that can be a rough queue.
Very little relief.
Yeah.
I was there when I was there on Monday. The Matterhorn queue went down and back and then was kind of outside again, and it was like an angle that I'd not seen in a very long time, and it was very warm, and it did not look like fun. So
I am feeling like I need a coaster. I'm feeling like I am missing a coaster right now, and I'm glad you said Matterhorn because that's exactly where I'm going. I'm going Matterhorn.
Wow.
I
Left or right?
know it's painful. I know all of that. But I love the Matterhorn. I love the old videos of like, the Skyway bucket still went through it. I love Harold. I love the little, the Wells tribute in there. Um, there's an old video of before they figured out how to use water as the braking element, and they were just throwing hay bales.
Hey, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I love that. Like, that is one of my like funny little like niche Disney videos that sometimes I'll go back and revisit when I just need a laugh. It's just to watch these cast members chuck like hay at a moving Matterhorn bobsled just to slow it down. It's the Matterhorn is like, it's an old school coaster, right? It's a steel tube coaster, old school style. But it holds up. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's old, but it doesn't feel rickety, right? Like a lot of times with old coasters, I think about here in Colorado, we have at Elitch Gardens, we have the Twister, some rendition of the Twister that's a wooden coaster, and it's been around. I mean, the wood on that coaster has supposedly been used for every rendition, even moved with the park, and it's rickety and it feels old. Whereas like the Matterhorn, although it's rough, it doesn't feel old to me. It's just,
There's some parts that feel kind of old.
That
you're gonna have your opinion. That's fine. I'm not gonna take that from you.
But I think it's fun. It has I was listening. Maybe it was Epic Marie I was listening to the other day, where you guys were talking about how the Matterhorn has become the weenie of Disneyland in a lot of ways, and it's true, right? Like,
yeah,
it does draw your eye from anywhere in the park. There's the tree in Adventureland that's like cut to shape just so that it covers up the Matterhorn, but I love the Matterhorn. Super fun. So.
Did you know there's a basketball court? I'm kidding.
Yeah, where they have Bob Gurr chained up and playing basketball for a fee.
Oh, God. We've got really dark.
Please lift me up so I can dunk.
Again, I would agree with you, Ryan. Like, it's a fun ride. It does have. I'm a big fan of a single rider line. And yeah, it doesn't feel like you go on some coasters and it feels very creaky and kind of like, has OSHA looked at this recently? Do you think this is safe to ride on? It would never get made today, right? Like, there's no way that thing is passing inspection all. I would have liked to have seen it because didn't the Skyway pass through it? Mm-hmm. I think, if I remember, that would have been really cool.
Yep.
So,
all right, Eric, you're back up.
Oh my goodness. Well, are we doing current rides or yester rides?
I figured this discussion would come up at some point.
I knew it. I was literally about to introduce this discussion because I feel like we're right there. My thought is current. What's everybody else think?
This is an outrage. No, we could. You know what? Maybe it's for a different episode. Like, of prior drafts, because otherwise, like, People Mover would have been gone, or people like that would be a high draft choice. The Skyliner would be great. So, but anyway.
All right. Well, David brought it up. It's the People Mover. The one that exists.
That was the other one that I thought when you were picking Spaceship Earth. I thought that was the other. I was like, that's the other one he's going to pick.
Well, Yester Ride, I was going to go with the tram tour. I wanted to pick something at MGM, which is also a Yester place. But it holds such a dear place in my heart, much like Spaceship Earth, like a very slow-moving thing that took most of the day. Anyway, we'll talk about that on another episode, probably somewhere. But yeah, hey, I'm taking People Mover. I'm taking a slow-moving ride that you can access by going up a flat escalator and you can leave by going down a flat escalator. You know what feels nice about the escalator, the speed ramp? Is it's got these rollers, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a foot massage as you're going. Oh yeah. And then you get to sit down, and you can go into the dark, and you'll almost never see anything inside Space Mountain. And if you're lucky, the ride will stop at a few points. Again, I love rides that stop. Why? But you're covered. So even if it's pouring rain, you can look around at the majesty of a 1990s Tomorrowland at Walt Disney World, and you can say, eventually I can see a large chunk of a model city. That's what everybody looks forward to, right? They want to see Progress City toward the end.
It's my favorite part.
Oh, good. But yeah, I don't know. I've always liked it, but then I think I was my love of it was renewed when my nieces were little and they loved going on it, and they still love going on it. My nieces were just like, let's sit in a box and just ride around in circles.
That's awesome. Yeah,
It's like, why not?
My wife's not a coaster person, so People Mover has always been her Space Mountain alternative. Even before we knew each other, when she was going to Disney World with friends and stuff. And fun fact, you can ask the CMs, and many times they will just let you stay on.
Just give them the signal.
Yep, just give it another go.
I've never done that.
Oh, it's great. And
Probably
it was
because I want to
funny.
ride the speed ramp down and then back up.
It was funny the last time we were in Disney World. I went on Space Mountain, and by the time I got back to my wife, she was on her 7th time around the People Mover.
7?
Just sitting there.
7.
Did she realize she could exit? Was it like a Nixon kidnapping thing where you got no?
She just, I mean, at some
Lisa.
point you just kind of chill and you take in the sights. Maybe you flip
whatever.
through Instagram a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah. Hang out. Oh,
It
David.
does inspire in my mind the question of what would be the worst ride to go on 7 times in a row? But I will put that aside for a moment.
Oh,
whole different draft.
Entirely different. Draft.
That's a good question. 7 times.
7 times in a row. There are other ones like best or worst cast member role to have based on what you have to wear and where you're working and the music and all that stuff. But I have to pick one from Florida because I went to Florida again with Erik and my kids and Mike. I am going to go. It's a tough one. It's a coin toss. I'm going to go with Avatar: Flight of Passage.
Ooh.
I remember arriving there, and the advice from Erik was we need to quickly get over to this ride. And the weather was great. We were there in April; it wasn't too bad. But he said we have to get there before it starts to line up. And they have, again, I'm probably the most novice person here, but the approaching queue, there's a lot to see because it was morning time. You didn't get stuck in a spot to really sit there and absorb it, but would have been cool. Maybe not in July, but to kind of spend a little bit more time to see the stuff as you build up and get to the ride itself. Mm-hmm. The ride wasn't like any other ride I've been on before. Maybe the closest, it's sort of not really Tron because Tron actually moves, and this one's just more of a simulator. But it was, it was a very cool ride. Though as you approach it, it was. I purposely, I think I said this to you before, Erik. I purposely didn't look at any of the ride through videos beforehand because I wanted to be surprised, as I was on Expedition Everest,
which was so great. It really was.
What was my comment? I was like, "Wait, we're at the end. What? How do we turn around?" And you're just we don't. So that's my choice. I had to pick a Walt Disney World ride. My other choice, and I know it's not a very popular ride, but I really love the Ratatouille ride just because it was very fun, and it's a movie that I love, and it's very means a lot to me and my kids, and so I really enjoyed the ride. Now I realize it's probably a garbage ride, but anyway, that's my 4th choice. I'm not picking Ratatouille. Just give a little shout out to it. So,
Fair enough.
Bryan, it's on you. 2 choices.
My last 2. So final picks.
Final picks.
I'm going to stay on the East Coast, and I'm going to go with Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios. While I do enjoy Guardians Mission Breakout at Disneyland, I do miss Tower of Terror, and having that option at Walt Disney World still is it gives me comfort. And it's the original, arguably the better one. You've got the fifth dimension. You actually leave the elevator shaft. It gave us a great movie as well, but the theming
With
is Steve Goot. The
David's
theming
personal
is
friend.
yes, fantastic. Even from the outside, the exterior, as you're walking up, just a great approach. When you're in there in the lobby, fantastic detail. I love the old timey sort of setting, and then the ride itself is it's just fun. I just can't help but laugh the entire time. It's
Well,
it's one of the best.
a testament
then-
to how good the grounds are around it. They're doing weddings at the grounds now.
I would love that.
We want to renew our vows there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all. Like that I don't know that there are many other rides that are on the ride grounds that are on Disney weddings options list. So
You
yeah.
could pretty much get anything you want if you have cash.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the ones that's advertised, and there's a big space for it.
Right.
But still, you're right. There's so much placemaking that happens there.
Yeah. All right, last pick. I am going to take it back to arguably the original, the first ride. I'm going with Disneyland Railroad.
It's a great choice.
May not actually have been the first physical ride there in Anaheim, but of
I
course,
think is it older than Are some of the engines older than even the carousel horses? It might be the oldest.
Might be,
when you really
actually,
get down to it.
yeah.
Well, and
But-
as much as a mouse started, it was all started by a mouse. The parks were all started by a train, right?
Yeah. There's the Griffith Park story and watching his daughters and stuff, but it really goes back to the train, his love of trains, having the train at home. People often will say that basically Disneyland was Walt's train set, like his life size dream as a child train set. It doesn't require anything from you. It doesn't promise you anything special. It's just sit there on the train, go around the park. It's calm. It's cool. You get to see the different areas. It's like a preview of different areas. If you haven't been, you sort of get this glimpse of Adventureland, and then New Orleans Square, Frontierland, Toontown, and Fantasyland, and then Tomorrowland. You go around, you get to see a little bit of everything, which is great. And then, finishing off with the Grand Canyon and Primeval World, just fantastic conclusion, sort of crescendo as you then roll back into Main Street. It is, I think, a perfect ride.
Great pick.
Took when took my wife down. She grew up in Southern California, not been in years, and we went on the railroad. And we're riding around, and we get to the Grand Canyon and the dinosaur part. She's like, "What's going on here?" So, and I always felt like Walt might have had like a nephew who wanted to design something. He's like, "Okay, you're just gonna do a little section of the railroad. We're just gonna let you nerd out on the dinosaur stuff." But it is a great ride. It's always there are just certain. I think Erik, you touched upon earlier. There are certain rides where it's nice to just kind of sit back and relax. And watch the people and watch the environment. It takes you all around the park. It's a short ride. It's usually never a long ride unless you're trying to get on Norland Square. Yeah, it's a great pick.
All right, David, you're up. What's your last pick?
All right, I'm going to pick one that no one would ever pick just because it's not a top ride. It is it's probably my favorite ride in DCA. There were a lot of choices you could do, like Soaring Over California, because I would never pick Soaring Over the World. There's Incredicoaster.
Why?
Okay, let's calm yourself.
We left Jumpin' Jellyfish for you, David. Go ahead.
Appreciate that.
It's all yours.
If there was a 6th round, it would be gone so quick.
I know how much you love Guardians at Disney California Adventure.
I went on it the last time I went with Carolyn. I went on the ride. It's fine. You just got to do in the morning time before, too many Manhattans at Carthay. But I am going to pick Grizzly River Run, and I know it's not a popular ride. The reason I love the ride, so I grew up in California, Northern California, and when I was younger, my dad would take my sister and we would go, Truckee River on the quote unquote rapids, if you will. So rafting was like kind of a big fun thing, right? And it's a simple ride. I love it has a single rider. I'm a sucker for that. And it's just, I don't know. I love that it is, other than kind of the roars that they kind of adjusted, not a lot of music. I want others might think it's creepy. It's always fun to strike up a conversation beforehand. And it's just a fun ride. Like, everyone gets soaked. It's a great time. I have done at nighttime, one time when staying on the property, done this, riding it like 6, 7, 8 times in a row, and family just drenched, just squeaking through the Grand, trying to get to our hotel room, just completely soaked. It's so much fun. I love that ride so much. So I'm drafting it. It's not like a top tier ride, but I had to pick it.
Fair enough.
I'd argue that the nighttime is the best time if you're
so
staying
cool.
there, because you can do that. You can go and just get soaked and not care, because you're going to be in your room, in the shower,
Yep.
out of those wet clothes in 10 minutes.
Yep.
So go get as wet as you want. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you're staying at the Jolly Roger off of Harbor, you're just going to be miserable walking 2 miles, squeaking the whole. No, but your point, nighttime, it's great. They turn the water down, so you're not getting quite as wet, but no one's on it. You could ride it 100 times in a row, and if you could pop back to the room and dry off and crank up the heat and change out and get a warm shower, it's great. It's a fun ride.
Nice.
So, Erik,
David,
your last draft choice. Don't mess this up.
This is tough. Although when I'm thinking of, we did do Grizzly River Run together. I don't remember getting quite that wet. I do remember how soaked you and your wife got on one of the last times I went on Splash Mountain, where you had to leave the parks.
Yeah, got pretty wet. So, I love a wet ride. I don't mind getting wet. You drive pretty quick. It's fine.
Oh my goodness. No,
It's the shoes. As long as my shoes are dry.
That's
for sure.
key. That's key. Grizzly, you have to put them up on the little footstool thing. But yeah. So how about you, Erik? What's your next draft choice?
Well, I've got a recency bias. Now I want to say Cali River Rapids, but which is the same ride, but with less drops, but with the ability for children to fire water at you at the end.
I just want to came up with the idea. It's hey, if you're not on the ride, why don't we make it so that just people can guarantee you get wet, and we're just going to put up water guns for people,
right? Oh, they just stand there on the bridge and they laugh and they laugh. Oh, clearly I'm stalling because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say here. I've already said the nostalgic stuff. I've already said some of the exciting stuff. What's something that I have to do every time and The answer is going to infuriate a lot of people.
Superstar limo. Keep going.
Nope, we're not doing Yester. I've never been on Superstar Limo, but I hear it's fantastic. And I love seeing animatronics covered over with hazmat suits on Monsters Inc. No, I don't know why I like this ride so much. It's Goofy Sky School. No, oh no. No, it's Goofy Sky School. I'd rather go on Goofy Sky School than on the Wheel of Death.
Well, of course, because you don't hate yourself.
Because the Wheel of Death gets such interesting reactions, but so does Goofy Sky School. And Goofy Sky School is actually more fun. The Wheel of Death, the Pixar pal around takes too long.
It has to take a long time.
It's a Ferris wheel. There's always that time where you're like, okay, let's wait while they load up another car of people. Okay, let's wait while there's just so much downtime while you're sitting there. And yes, you're sliding back and forth, and you've got somebody on Dan and I had a great time once with two people that had never been on it that were screaming very loudly, and it was enjoyable. But I really think I prefer Goofy's Sky School because you can get in faster. It moves faster. It does absolutely wacky things. I love a Wild Mouth coaster.
Oh, they're so fun.
I don't know why people don't like it. Well, I know why they say they don't like it, because they think they're going to die.
That's usually the primary reason that you're going to fly out of the car. But
right, but that's the whole thing. That's what roller coasters are. That's what all of these thrill rides are. It's provoking a reaction and going, if we did it right, you won't die. Sorry, Haunted Mansion. But I shouldn't. We should cut that.
It's fine. No,
leave
it in. Leave it in. There's no editing.
Oh no.
Goofy's is a great choice. The again, single rider line, which moves pretty quick. It's always fun to see the faces of the people that have never been on it before.
Oh gosh, and they're like, "What's happening?"
We're only going up how high is in the air? Like 35 feet, maybe 40. It's not very high. It's
a little higher but yeah, still it's not death. It's not the Incredicoaster.
No,
you're not going upside down.
But when you hit that first right turn and you feel yourself swerving out of the car, and you're just like, it looks like an easy ride. Right?
Yeah. And you're hanging over the edge and you're like, I'm going to fly onto jumping jellyfish. The forces are so hard. They yank you and they push you, but it's still pretty darn smooth.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing it's missing, because I love the old Goofy shorts, I think the only thing it's missing is a narrator going, because they've got the whole like how to fly and the lessons.
Yeah.
I think they need a narrator saying that.
Whichever.
Off. Right. Because everybody just screams, and all of the thrills are so fast. It's like, whoa, we're done. It's intense, but it's a second long.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I hate when the line is too long because it's a terrible line.
Yeah, because you're under like faux shade, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are some fun things to look at in the queue when you get to a certain point, but then it's done. And
the smell of corn dogs.
Oh, mm-hmm. I don't go to that place.
I was gonna say, don't get Erik started.
Don't get me started on.
How do you feel about the corn dog castle, Erik?
Oh,
Erik, you can place your mobile order while you're sitting in that queue at Corn Dog Castle.
You can guarantee yourself speedy service.
What a waste of time. Thanks, guys.
55 feet high. It hits a top speed of 27 miles an hour.
That's almost like Space Mountain.
Yeah, that's faster than I had expected.
Yeah,
35. But yeah, it's just so like sudden,
mm-hmm.
And the corners I think are the best part because that's where everybody feels like they're going to fall off and die because there's nothing There's no rail. There's nothing outside of you. So I love sitting on that side of it. But yeah, it is a slow loader. It never stops moving, which is always kind of interesting. There's this little bit of terror where you're like, I've got to get out when I'm done. Get in, put the lap bar down. And I'm not a short person. I'm not a terribly tall person. I'm not a terribly wide person. There, as an adult, I think that's the key. It's painful.
This is the hardest ride vehicle to get in and out of.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Of any that I can think of.
I was going to say the exact same thing. It's the one that actually stresses me out to get on and off of. Right.
Right.
So once the bar flies up, I'm like, I got to hop out of this thing because the next person has to hop in.
Yeah.
My knees are bent in a way that they're not supposed to bend. I need to get out. I still love it. That's why I picked it. And there we go. Hey.
Right on. Well, I'm seeing that I don't have any California Adventure on my list. Well, I'm missing a lot of parks that I've been to on my list right now. But one of the glaring missing things that I have right now is a track-based dark ride, right? You could argue Small World, but that's a boat ride, different story. So I'm going to go
one. That's not a track.
So you're going with who are you going with? What are you going with?
I'm going with a classic Fantasyland dark ride. I'm going to go with Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, I thought you were on the DCA side. I thought you were gonna take that aerial ride.
Aerial. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Slap you
sadly,
through the Zoom.
I couldn't think of anything. I mean, maybe Coco would take that spot once it opens. Who knows, or whatever. Yeah, we'll talk about honorable mentions here in a second. But yeah, Alice is great. The outside part of it, where you get to go outside and then go back inside, that's a piece that you don't get in any of the other dark rides, really. I love it's a book report ride. You are literally just watching the movie. But it's super fun, and it gets kind of the ambiance from the teacups next door, right? Mm-hmm. That kind of carries over into the queue and
for sure
into the outdoor area. I've actually been on the outdoor part, like the zigzags, when a parade's been going by, and that's super cool. You get to see a parade from kind of above, and that's pretty fun. It's a classic, plywood and fluorescent paint and black lights type of dark ride. It's nothing, it's not high tech by any means, but it is super, super fun. It is one that I think is a must ride, partially because my wife's favorite Disney movie is Alice, and so we always have to ride it for that purpose. But I've ridden it with a sleeping infant on my chest. I've ridden it well, also, having been inebriated. I love Alice. It's the dark. It doesn't have a terrible line. It's getting up there a little bit, but it's not like Peter Pan level.
It's been updated. Yeah.
It was the first one, actually, that they sort of did the plussing, that Tony Baxter's mission to plus up all the dark rides there in Fantasyland.
Yeah.
Nice. I actually, when my kids and I were in the park, we met, you may not know, but Peter 2, the clapping guy, the Disneyland, he was there, he was in line, took photos with it. Great.
Nice.
Just, it's a nice little, it's a super fun ride.
Yeah.
Did you do the handshake?
I didn't know how to do the handshake, but I saw him do it with cast members. I don't want to fake doing a handshake that I don't know how to do, but just Disneyland icon who go there. So
nice. Well, let me go through I'm going to go through the total draft list. Then we'll talk about any honorable mentions we left off the board, and then plug and get out of here. So lists, we've got Bryan drafting first. We got He's got Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland, Indy at Disneyland, Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast in Tokyo, Tower of Terror in Disney World, and the Disneyland Railroad. That is I would say, like, probably most of your picks are in like the top 25 rides of all time that, like, if you ask the internet, I think you did.
I've got one outlier, the wild card.
Yeah. David came in with Rise of the Resistance, Haunted Mansion, Hyperspace Mountain, Avatar Flight of Passage, and Grizzly River Run. I see a very updated theme there with you, David. You like the new rides.
I actually like a lot of the old rides. Like, I took a Haunted, right? That's an old ride.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for
Right?
sure. For sure.
Yeah. I think, like, if the draft question was make your own little mini park, I would have drafted things a little bit different. Right.
That's fair.
So I would have a water ride. I'd have a roller coaster. I'd have like a dark ride. You have a mountain ride, and like it would have looked a lot different. But this is the ride I ended up with. I like Bryan's team so far. It's a pretty good draft.
Then Erik came in with the Teacups at Disneyland, Spaceship Earth, Guardians in Epcot, the People Mover at Disney World, and Goofy's Sky School. You are all over the place, Erik.
Chill.
We're having a good day.
And then mine again. Also, I don't know what I was doing here, but Living with the Land, Carousel of Progress, Small World, Matterhorn, and Alice.
Classics.
Yeah, that's true. They're all old school. But yeah, so it's definitely some fun drafts. Sticking out as having been missed, obviously Radiator Springs, I think, jumps out to me as something that
Not
no
to
one
me.
really picked up.
Yep.
Nothing in it in Avengers Campus.
Okay.
Nobody picked either of the rides in Avengers Campus right now.
Oh, there are rides in Avengers Campus.
Wow. So question for Bryan and Erik. Like, what were rides that you thought you had like thought about drafting, and then B, like, you look at the list, you're like, oh man, I can't believe that like this ride is still around.
I would say Radiator Springs Racers was definitely the top of that list of that I fully expected would have gone early too.
I feel like people thought that I would take Toad.
I thought so.
Yes, I actually thought Ryan, that's where you were going with your last pick
With Alice,
Alice, yeah.
But Alice is good. That's a good choice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Alice is harder to get on.
Toad's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Toad has a better queue. Yeah.
Yeah, because
does.
you go into inside Toad
Yeah.
Manor. Yeah.
Alice's cue is just looking at the teacups and listening to the song.
Yeah, so good draft all, and I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm gonna go ahead. We'll go through and go do plugs. So Bryan, you are up first. Anything you want to plug for yourself?
It's Concierge, Enchanted Tiki Travel on Instagram. There are lots of great options for concierge travel planners. So, find one, pick one, you'll love it.
Woo! David.
Just the podcast, just the Puny Pod Marvel Fandom podcast. We are coming up on Shang-Chi, which I'm really looking forward to.
Heck yeah.
It's gonna be really good. It's a great movie, or at least most of it is. Kind of falls apart. But anyway, I won't spoil it. So
How much? So for those who don't listen to Puny Pod, Erik or David, how excited are you that we're back in the Bay Area with Shang-Chi?
I'm pretty excited, man. Like, it's not that fake ass Atlanta that's trying to pretend to be Oakland, or hey, we're recording like, I don't know, Australia, and it's pretending to be like Berkeley. Like, no, it's San Francisco proper. No, it's great. It's great. I had toyed with the idea of doing a there's a website that does like MCU film locations, and you could see like everywhere they locate. I've just been nerding out on like all the streets. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. And Erik, what of your many things would you like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about what I did at work today.
I was gonna say, I'd like to talk about the budgeting meeting I was in earlier today.
Yeah, there was the problem with the accumulations in macrohelix, and that was a really difficult. Listen to the Hub Crawl, please. Listen to Ears Up, please. Listen to the Supreme Resort, also, please. And if you have if there is a portion of your cold dead heart that needs to be reawakened, listen to Bowie Splaining. Where we talk about not Disney things, except for when we do, because it's me and my pal Dan, and we tend to talk about Disney things a lot. But hey, we've got a new episode coming out about one of Dan's least favorite albums, Let's Dance. I like it.
Ooh, a little bit of friction. I like it.
Oh, yeah, see, there's dramatic tension there. That's a good podcast for you. Like this one.
Makes for good listening.
That I already forgot the name of.
Fantasyland Draft League.
Fantasyland. New Fanty Draft League.
I originally thought we were drafting rides from Fantasyland, and I was like, I don't know how we're going to get 20 out of this.
Well, we've been talking for 2 hours, so we did it.
Yep, we did it. We did it. Good job, guys. I will wrap us up by saying, definitely, like David said, check out Puny Pod. That's my other show. Check out the other shows on Ears Up, since this is coming out on an Ears Up feed. Listen to everything else on Ears Up. Check me out on Instagram. I am Tomorrowland Travel Authority. I'm also a travel planner, much like Bryan had mentioned. All of us are awesome. You can't go wrong with concierge. So Bryan was absolutely right in saying pick him. Go travel with Bryan. But no, genuinely, thank you all for listening. And until next time, we will see you later. We'll make another pick. I don't have a closing. Bye.
Outro.